subject in Final. Dante's Inferno. Have you read it lately? We'll have to bring them on.
I haven't, but I'm excited to see which circle of hell they ask about. Welcome to the Final Wager. I'm Keith Williams, and got our first real high-scoring game this week. We've got our returning champion, Scott in the lead with 19,000, Siddharth 14-2, Amy 10-8. I was hoping Siddharth would go a little bit bigger, especially on that double Z daily double. And known for her sharp wit for 1,600 under women authors. Come on, guys. That's just too easy. Amy's turkey impersonation was pretty funny. I also enjoyed how she used the word animalate instead of impersonate, which just kind of rolled off the tongue. It took me a second to realize what she's going for. Pretty funny, but yeah, I do a pretty good elephant, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to blow out the microphone here. So let's pull up the scores. Let's see what everyone should do. We've got Scott 1900. Siddharth doubles up. He's gonna have 28.4, so 9,400 for Scott. Now Scott misses with that amount. He's gonna have 9,600. So Amy could wager up to 1,200, and I think this is where things are gonna get interesting. 9,600 would be 4,200 plus 400 is 4,600 at most for Siddharth. And now let's clear these out and let's see what happens when Amy doubles up. She's gonna have 21.6, so you'll see that Siddharth's got to wager at least 7,400 to cover that. So he's in a little spot there because he can either cover Amy or stay above Scott if they both miss, but can't do both. I guess Scott could wager, well, that'd be 2,600, but I would not recommend that just because most likely Siddharth's going to go for broke here and try to lock Amy out, and he might as well go for everything. Now we go to mind games because Amy could go for this 1,200 amount, in which case she'd have 12,000, so Siddharth could wager up to 2,200, and that's where I would definitely get rid of that 4,600 amount. If he's right with that wager, he's going to have 16.4, which you can see Amy could cover, so I could see her wagering everything. Might probably give it a pink, but that would be at least, what, 1,200 plus 4,400 is going to be 5,600, but definitely an all-in there. If Scott, I wouldn't mess around with that too much, although on the downside, that is that 2,600 amount again, so that's where things get a little hairy. It typically happens in these situations that there's some weird wager to tie deep in there, but I don't pay attention to it too much. So any zero cover wagers we need to worry about here? Doesn't look like it. So I think we'll leave it at that. So I'd like to see Scott go for 9,401, as I'm sure he will. Amy capping at 1,200 would be smart, I think, here. And Siddharth probably also going to go for broke, but I wouldn't mind seeing something like 2,200, 2,000, something along those lines. What else do I have here? I'm wondering, so after Amy's impersonation, she got a high five from Alex. I'm wondering if he's starting to copy Steve Harvey.
During the journey, Dante encounters Homer, Socrates, and Cicero, who bide their time in the first circle, also known as this. 30 seconds. Good luck.
All right, so I have an answer here, but I'll turn this down just because it's a little too loud. I haven't gotten the volume right on this thing yet, but that's a work in progress. It's only the fourth time I've really tried it, and the third time without Sharpies. Here's my response, by the way. It's what is limbo.
All three of you performing extremely well on the program today. Amy, we start with you. You were in third place. You had 10,800, and you will not add to that because you came up with an incorrect response. It is not the circle of heroes. It'll cost you $10,750, leaving you with just $50. Over to Siddharth now. He had $14,200. He said, what is limbo? You are right. And you will add 7,401. You will have the lead for the
All right, that was the bare minimum.
601 as we come to Scott Bateman.
Ooh.
He wrote down what is purgatory. That is incorrect. It'll cost you how much? 9401. You're going to finish in second place. Congratulations, Siddharth, young man. You're the new Jeopardy champion with 21,000.
Well, congrats, Siddharth. Purgatory was definitely the second right answer there. Well, second best answer, I should say. It wasn't the right answer. But two good wagers here. You got Scott and you got Siddharth. Both doing what they needed to do, although Siddharth left a fair amount of money on the table there. Amy going big, not the worst thing in the world in case Siddharth does go small, but that is that. I just noticed I have an American flag on my whiteboard now because I had to move some stuff around in my kitchen where it usually resides, and it ended up there just because I have a better place for it for the time being. I liked a couple more comments. I liked Scott's Martin Luther's theses because it's very easy to mix that up. And I recall someone in a Final Jeopardy, maybe it was Dan Milia's first game, wrote 97 theses, and that was wrong. And that allowed Dan Milia to win. I might be totally misremembering all that, but hey, when you can be vague, try to get away with it. It's a little bit more difficult in Final Jeopardy because they can't ask for more specificity. So Martin Luther's theses might be a little bit of a gamble there, or maybe it was just like if Mel Brooks had gotten hold of the 97 theses and two of them got chopped off or something at the bottom. And then 1815, the Battle of Waterloo. Obviously, 1815 is one of those trigger numbers, trigger dates. But myself, I was primed by that Yalta clue beforehand, and I was thinking of American battles. And the first thing I think of in 1815 is the Battle of New Orleans, which, when you think of south of another city, would have to be south. They were in the Gulf of Mexico, but yeah, I can see why people get thrown off by that a little bit. All right, we will. Oh yeah, National Velvet. That was in my UTOC game, and no one knew it, but I knew it there. What a difference a few years makes. Yeah, whatever. All right, we'll see you Friday for another returning champion, our fifth of the week, I guess. Right here on the Final Wager.